Okay, so QR. So the R, again, using the same principle used for the P, we do the same thing. We use more or less the same size, and you'll see that it's basically the same, and that's kind of cool. So you do the flop here, and you bring it down in here. Okay, so now we have the same concept that we used previously, and now you can maintain the same structure in here, or you can do this one. Probably for this one I'm going to do something different, because it does look a little bit like this, and we don't want it, to be honest. So yeah, let's do something like this. Okay. We bring it this way. Okay, now we do the inside hole, and now we want to maintain the leg inside of more or less this shape. So we do it like this. Okay, and now we apply. Okay, and so we have here the R, and we can also add the shadow under this flap, and eventually in here we can also, if the light comes from above, we can add also in this area. Okay, so this is going to be the R, something like this. Now for the S. The S follows more or less the same structure of an E, because it has the vertical line here, and then it goes down diagonally and comes back to the side. So we start by drawing the side part here. Okay, we close it more or less like this, and for instance this, we let me just see if I can do it something like this. Okay, because the inside part has to match this area here. So if I do something like this, no, yes, like this. Okay, so we now can round it here and do the same procedure, as basically it's half-half, it's basically the same letter, it's mirrored. So in here we can add the shadow, and we also add the shadow in here. Okay, so should be something like this, the S. Okay, now for the T. Okay, we eyeball the distance as always. Don't forget we are drawing, it doesn't really mattered. So the T, let's say one comes from here, the flap comes from here and here. So we do something like this. Okay. Okay. It's not perfect. As you can see, it doesn't match properly. But in this case, what matters is if the actual shape of the letter is here. Okay. So for the U now, again, always leave a tiny gap at the upper port. And now we can run the shape. This is one of those shapes that you can draw it like any other letter, as in like it's a normal thing, right? So we're doing something like this. It looks like a normal letter, no? But then you add the effect later. So in this case, I'm going to add it like this, okay? And we add the shadow, always in this position, okay? So it's supposed to always come to one side like this, okay? Now for the V it needs to be something like this, and goes up, and it kind of does this inside shape. And this one we can, the left side, we can almost like bring it, because this one closes it, right? So we can do something like this, okay? So now with the V, and now for the W, let's see if I have the space for everything here. Okay, so for the W, it's almost like a double V, obviously. So we can replicate this area and then we can just mirror it to the other side. Okay, so W in here, and then we can come around, yeah, around here, I think. If we draw the middle part around here, let's just say here, yeah, should be nice. Should be okay here. Let me just, okay, something like this. Also here it has the bottom, because after all it's almost like a tube, no? And from here I can draw the other part, something like this, okay? So we now have the shadow. We can just fix a bit, because the symmetrical shapes are a bit harder when you're trying to drawing. It's not easy to achieve the actual result that you probably are looking for, but at the end it does do the purpose of you know, trying to figure out the shape and the proportions of the letter, so you can apply everything that you feel like it's going to enhance the actual letter. No, so you do this, the shape, so you have the base for it, and then you start to enhance the letter, adding stuff to it, trying to, you know, putting some value to the actual letter. Let's just say composition, you could say it. Although it's a letter, it's not a composition, but still. Okay, so for the X right now, it should be something like this. Okay, see, from here I'm going to immediately cut it like this, because this one's going to something like this. Okay, because this one goes down, so something like this. Okay, should be more or less on the same line. It's not right there, but it's something like this. Good. So in this case, this one has to come from the inside here, because it should follow the same line here too. Same happens with the other leg. Okay, and this position, and this one just whoop, goes up. Okay, so the X should look a bit like this. This kind of letter kind of, it gets a bit more intricate, because you do need to position better the lines, because then you stop having straight lines like this, and you probably have like this, and one goes down like this. For instance, it should be like the upper part like this, and the bottom part like this, because then if you do one like this and then the other, you change the angle, it doesn't work and it doesn't look cool. So try always to maintain the same angle when you do them. Okay, the X is done.